Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. News without the hype and biased reporting. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A legal showdown is intensifying in New York after immigration agents arrested a young asylum seeker just one day after a federal judge ordered Immigration and Customs Enforcement to halt most arrests inside civil immigration courts. According to court filings, 21-year-old Vinely Alexander Castillo-Norales was taken into custody Tuesday after a routine immigration court check-in in New York City. Attorneys representing Castillo-Norales say the arrest directly violated a federal court order issued Monday by Judge Kevin Castile, who temporarily blocked most courthouse immigration arrests while a lawsuit moves forward. Castillo-Norales reportedly came to the United States as a child seeking asylum and has attended all required immigration hearings. Court documents state he has no criminal convictions and had not been ruled a danger to the community or a flight risk. The Department of Homeland Security defended the arrest, claiming Castillo-Norales was connected to gang activity and had previously faced criminal charges, though officials did not identify any convictions. Federal officials also denied violating the judge's order. Legal advocates called the arrest an attack on civil liberties and accused immigration authorities of ignoring federal court authority. Castillo-Norales was released just hours later, before a scheduled hearing on his detention could take place. The hearing was later canceled following his release. The case now adds to growing national scrutiny over immigration enforcement policies and the limits of federal authority inside the courts. This is Streaming News Network. New details are emerging following a heartbreaking scuba diving tragedy in the Maldives that claimed the lives of 5 Italian tourists, including a young woman whose fiancé is now speaking publicly about their final conversation. 26-year-old Federico Colombo told Italian media that his fiancée, 22-year-old Giorgia Somical, sent him what would become her final message shortly before the fatal dive on May 14. According to Colombo, Somical was excited about exploring the waters of Vavu Atoll in the Indian Ocean alongside her mother, 51-year-old marine biologist Monica Montefalcone. Colombo said Somical promised to send him photos as soon as she surfaced from the dive. But the pictures never came. Instead, he says, Somical's father later called with the devastating news that both mother and daughter had died. Local reports indicate the group became trapped inside an underwater cave nearly 200 feet below the surface, where sharks were also present. 3 other Italian tourists were killed in the incident. Colombo described Somical as his future wife and the mother of the children they hoped to have someday. He also said Montefalcone had become like a second mother to him. The family had reportedly been planning a future trip to Egypt after Somical completed her university studies. Somical had been expected to return home to Italy on May 24, the same day as Colombo's birthday. He says he is still struggling to comprehend the tragedy. This is Streaming News Network. A popular hip-hop podcast personality is now facing serious legal trouble in Los Angeles. Maurice Shellman, better known by his stage name Ant Jeef, has been arrested on a felony murder charge following an investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division. Authorities took the rapper and podcast co-host into custody and booked him into jail, where he is currently being held on $1 million bail. Investigators have not yet released details surrounding the homicide case, and police have not publicly identified the circumstances that led to the arrest. Ant Jeef is widely known as a co-host on the popular hip-hop podcast and YouTube platform No Jumper, where he gained a following through interviews and discussions focused on music, street culture, and entertainment. In addition to podcasting, he has released multiple rap projects centered on his experiences growing up in South-Central Los Angeles. No Jumper host Adam22 reacted to the arrest by saying the news came as a major surprise. He described Jeef as a strong contributor to the show over the past year and said he believed the rapper had moved away from street life. The investigation remains ongoing, and no additional information has been released by authorities at this time. This is Streaming News Network. A Southern California doctor known for cosmetic Botox treatments has been convicted in a massive Medicare fraud scheme involving tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. Federal prosecutors say 45-year-old Violetta Maillen of Glendale was found guilty on 9 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts related to obstructing a criminal healthcare investigation. Authorities accused Maillen of submitting more than $45 million in fraudulent Medicare claims for Botox injections that were either medically unnecessary or never performed at all. Investigators say the scheme operated through Healthy Way Medical Center from 2019 through 2025. Federal analysts discovered Mel Yen received more Medicare money for Botox treatments than any other physician in the United States, collecting more than $24 million over 4 years. According to prosecutors, many of the injections were billed while Mel Yen was traveling on luxury vacations to destinations including Mexico, Hawaii, Las Vegas, New York, and Pennsylvania. In some cases, treatments were allegedly billed when the clinic was closed, while patients were out of town, or even while one patient was incarcerated in federal prison. Authorities also say Mel Yen falsified medical records and backdated documents after learning investigators were examining her billing practices. Prosecutors claim she used the money to fund a lavish lifestyle, including expensive collectibles and luxury vehicles. Mel Yen now faces up to 20 years in prison for each wire fraud conviction, along with additional prison time for obstruction charges. A sentencing date has not yet been announced. This is Streaming News Network. Authorities in Minneapolis have arrested 2 women in connection with the death of a Minnesota Army veteran who was killed after confronting suspects accused of stealing from his truck. Police say 38-year-old Amos Ferrier noticed several people breaking into his pickup truck outside Rick's Coffee Bar on May 15. Ferrier, a father of 2 and longtime Army veteran, was working at the coffee shop, which is operated by a nonprofit organization that supports military veterans. Investigators say Ferrier ran outside after spotting the suspects stealing his bag. As the group attempted to flee in a vehicle, Ferrier reportedly jumped onto the hood in an effort to stop them. Police say the suspects continued driving until Ferrier was thrown from the vehicle, striking his head on the pavement. He was rushed to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he underwent emergency brain surgery. Ferrier never regained consciousness and died 2 days later. The Minneapolis Police Violent Criminal Apprehension Team has since arrested 19-year-old Renea Allen and another 18-year-old woman in neighboring St. Paul. Both now face first-degree murder charges. Police Chief Brian O'Hara called the incident horrific and said investigators hope the arrests will bring justice to Ferrier's family and loved ones. Ferrier served in the United States Army for 15 years, including multiple deployments to Afghanistan. After leaving the military, he dedicated himself to helping fellow veterans transition back into civilian life through the nonprofit Every Third Saturday, where he worked as the internship program director. This is Streaming News Network. Actress and television icon Fran Drescher is opening up about her unusually close relationship with her ex-husband and longtime creative partner, Peter Mark Jacobson. During a recent interview, the former star of The Nanny revealed that while the two frequently vacation together and remain best friends, she does have one important rule in place. Drescher joked that she tries to make sure Jacobson does not become what she described as a block to potential romantic opportunities while they travel. Drescher and Jacobson were married for 21 years before divorcing in 1999. 2 years later, Jacobson publicly came out as gay. Despite the end of their marriage, the pair have remained close personally and professionally. The two famously co-created The Nanny, one of the most successful sitcoms of the 1990s, and later turned their real-life post-divorce friendship into another television series, Happily Divorced. Drescher described Jacobson as both her life partner and work partner, saying the bond they share has remained strong through the years, even as their relationship evolved into a close friendship. This is Streaming News Network. Questions surrounding age and fitness for office are once again drawing attention on Capitol Hill as several longtime lawmakers continue serving well into their 80s. Maxine Waters, now 87 years old, is reportedly preparing to seek a 19th term in Congress. If re-elected, the California Democrat would extend her tenure in the House of Representatives to nearly 4 decades. Waters has publicly dismissed concerns about her age and remains active on the campaign trail. Meanwhile, concerns have also surfaced surrounding Frederica Wilson, the 83-year-old Florida congresswoman known for her colorful fashion style and outspoken political comments. Wilson has reportedly missed more than 40 House votes since mid-April and has been absent from legislative committee activities for several weeks. Her office later attributed the absence to recovery from eye surgery. Attention has also turned to Eleanor Holmes Norton, the 88-year-old delegate representing Washington, District of Columbia. Public discussion intensified after references in a previously reported police document mentioned possible early cognitive concerns. The debate over aging lawmakers has become increasingly prominent in Washington, with critics and supporters alike weighing questions about experience, effectiveness, and whether new age-related standards should apply to elected officials serving at the highest levels of government. This is Streaming News Network. A former federal prosecutor in Florida is facing serious criminal charges after prosecutors accused her of secretly emailing sealed Justice Department records connected to the classified documents investigation involving President Donald Trump, allegedly disguising the files as dessert recipes to avoid detection. Federal prosecutors say 62-year-old Carmen Mercedes Lineberger of Port St. Lucie was indicted on charges including theft of government property, falsifying records in a federal investigation, and unlawfully concealing public records. She pleaded not guilty during her arraignment in West Palm Beach. According to the indictment, Lineberger served as a managing assistant United States attorney in the Southern District of Florida and allegedly accessed sensitive Justice Department documents tied to former special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into classified documents discovered at Mar-a-Lago. Prosecutors claim she renamed confidential files using titles such as chocolate cake recipe and bundt cake recipe before forwarding them to personal email accounts. One of the documents allegedly included a sealed volume of Smith's final report connected to the investigation. Authorities say the materials were protected by court secrecy orders issued by United States District Judge Aileen Cannon, who had previously dismissed the classified documents case against Trump. The Justice Department's Office of Inspector General and the Federal Bureau of Investigation are now leading the investigation. If convicted, Lineberger could face decades in federal prison. Entertainment icon Cher is celebrating her 80th birthday today, and the legendary performer shows no signs of slowing down. With a career spanning more than 6 decades, Cher remains one of the most influential figures in music and pop culture history. She is the only female artist to achieve #1 hits across 6 different decades, with classics including I Got You Babe, If I Could Turn Back Time, and Believe helping define multiple generations of music fans. Known for her fearless style, powerful voice, and constant reinvention, Cher has continued touring, recording music, and remaining highly active on social media well into her later years. She has openly joked about aging in past interviews, saying she has never had much interest in acting her age. Her personal life has also remained in the spotlight over the years. Cher was famously married to musical partner Sonny Bono before their divorce in the 1970s. She later married rocker Gregg Allman, and over the years was linked romantically to several Hollywood stars. Since 2022, Cher has been in a relationship with music producer Alexander Edwards, often known as A.E. Despite public attention surrounding their age difference, Cher has repeatedly dismissed criticism, saying the couple simply enjoys life together. At 80 years old, Cher continues to prove she remains one of entertainment's most enduring and unconventional stars. This has been a report by Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.